Hi, this is Diane from Faithart Design Studio, and today is going to be another mass make idea. I found this idea from Kara Brandon Creations. That's her YouTube channel, and she is doing the 100-day project, another one of those very ambitious crafters that's going to do that for 100 days. And she's been posting some really great fun things. Now, obviously, I'm going to show you my take on her creation, and hopefully my take is it is interesting and a little bit different. And then again, mine would always be different because I'm going to work at how to add faith to this. So she called this a magnetic closure mini pocket folio, and that's from day 16. And it's so cute. So let me show you one. This is made from my new collage paper kit. That's the horizontal paper kit. And you make this from an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, this one. And I'm gonna give you lots of options. So you open it up, and here's two pockets right here. And then you flip it open again, and then you can add paper and make two more pockets. Now here's a perfect example of the difference of mine is that I have included faith. So let's look at this. I added some pearls on the front, and then these are, oh gosh, I just found these in my stash. This is from 52 Gypsies. Is that what that company was called? They're not even in business anymore. But they made, wait a minute, 7 Gypsies. That's what it was. 7 Gypsies. They made these wonderful, they're really heavy-duty cardstock little cards. And I just found them in a box that I hadn't opened in a long time. So I'm happy I'm pulling them out and using them, right? So now that's not faith, but you could use this as top 10 lists. What are your top 10 favorite verses, right? So that could work there. And it does have a magnetic closure. Yeah, if I can get it back together. Hear that snap? There it snaps together, which is fun. Then when you open this up, what I've done is I've used just some scrap paper and added a pocket on each side. And then I've been able to include my new, the ticket kit that I created for you all. It has so many Christian verses in it. Verses and then just like statements, like he will give you strength for each day. And this was Galatians 2:20. I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. So I've included that there. And then there's two more over here. Psalm 23, verse 4, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And then a larger one that says, trust in the Lord. So see how easy it is to make this and add faith if you use one of my faith tickets. Now, I have one kit that's just 421 tickets. But a lot of my Bible study kits I've included and made faith tickets. So they're different than the ones that are in the 421 kit. So what would you do with this? Well, I've got a lot of ideas. Number one, you could just make this and give this as a gift. I don't have any birthday things. I don't do birthday cards anymore. But you could turn this into a really cute birthday card, right? And then you could add a... oh yeah, where did I just put it? You could add a gift card, right? Look, you could just stick a gift card right in there if you wanted to. So it can become a gift, which totally works. The other thing that you can do is that you can use this as a add-on to a junk journal, right? And the cool part is it stays in place because we added magnets. So that's another way. Now, if you're going to put it into a junk journal, I would say, see, I treated this as the front because things open right to left as far as reading is concerned. But you could either continue and leave that the front page or make this your front page or decorate both sides. Doesn't really matter. But that's just how, one way that you can use it. Okay. So there's, as I said, these are both from my new collage to add-on that's the horizontal kit. So here's another example. Now this one, I love this. I found this in my stash too. I've been organizing a lot and finding good stuff. Oh gosh, a long time ago. This is more than 10 years old. Everybody was buying printed acetate. They were in 12 by 12s to use in your scrapbooks. And I just cut this down and fit 2 pockets on there and then just put some ephemera in here, okay? So that's just another way. You could put pockets in the middle where you see this one. What did I do? I did pockets on the outside edge. So there's lots of different ways to make this your version and make it fun. Okay, so those are from 8.5 by 11 scrapbook papers. Well, then I had the idea, here's how my idea came about. I finally was able to get to a resale shop, thrift shop. My girlfriend told me which one to go to. She thought it was really good. And so I went yesterday, and I'm just going to quickly show you. I went for books. I wanted to get some larger page books because I've got lots of books. I got another Christian book, Max Lucado, In the Eye of the Storm, because I love the pages. And that way, if I'm using book page from a Christian perspective, I don't have to worry about it because everything in here is all about Jesus and the gospel. So I have books like this size, but I wanted bigger books. And so this was 49 cents. So get yourself, if you want to be a faith artist, get yourself any kind of a book about the faith. And that's a good way to have book pages. I already had the J.I. Packer Knowing God. The other one that I have is more yellowed, but I'm almost out of the pages. So when I saw it for 49 cents, yeah, that was a buy. So the question then is, did Diane get larger book size? And I did. Look at this one. John Stout Favorite Psalms. And so he has the psalm here, and then he's got pictures. And I am excited to be able to use these book pages in lots of different fun things. So look at the nice size on that. Loved that one. And then, oh gosh, this was like the creme de la creme. Priced at $1.99, but they were having a sale, so I got it for $1. Now, look how large this book is. Where's my, oh, there it is. Okay, so this is, what is this? 8.5 by 11. Okay, so it's the same size as the paper we print on, but if you take things out carefully, you can actually get the papers like all together. But more importantly, look how cool the pages are. So what is this about? An introduction to the arts. And basically, there's so much faith stuff in here, which I thought, of course, because most of our art, became about faith, about Christianity and things like that, and these old things. So look at just all, I mean, I could just cut that out and use that as a piece of, look at that, I love that. That's a manuscript illumination. So I loved this book, again, for what I paid $1. And then I got 2 really big ones. Look at this one. Canyons of Color, Utah's Slick Rock Wildlands. Now this one is really big. So this is 10.5 by 11. Yes. And the pages, first of all, they're slick pages and they're really heavyweight. So look at this. Just look at these pictures. They're going to end up looking like mixed media abstracts, right? Oh my gosh, these are just gorgeous. And then the final one I got was an Academia Gallery, the official guide of all the works. Again, 50 cents. This has 14th century where all of this stuff is. So here we go. Now we're getting into the Byzantine and the Christian things like that. Yeah, Madonna and all that. But just the pages are just gorgeous. Again, thick pages with some really gorgeous pictures. So what prompted me to sit down and start working on this little one is I looked at her video and I went, okay, I get the point about, 8.5 by 11 paper, and I know how to do that. What if I use a different size paper? So that is what I'm going to show you. And I think my twist on her mini folios are. So you could almost call this like a one-page wonder. It's a one-page wonder. Basically, it doesn't have to be 12 by 12. Isn't that fun? So let's look at some of the other examples that I did. I did use some pages from some of those books. And I think, so they came out almost about the same size because it was an 8.5 by 11. Right, and so this is very similar to that. I did little pockets on the end, okay, and then I kept the pockets there. But I just wanted to show you that If you have some nice old books that are what we used to call coffee table books, you can absolutely use those papers because they turn out really well. This one I love. This is from a big book. This was from a book about the history of board games. And look how cute this one turned out. Now this one I decided, what if I added a little piece of ribbon on that fold? And so again, now the back of this one was mostly white, but I think it works because it's got words on it. Okay, so there's another one. And then here's a third one. And okay, hold on. Oh, there was a little bit of glue on there from the magnets. And so this one was fun. What I did differently on this one was I decided, well, let's put a lined pocket and then a little tiny pocket here. And I used washi tape all over this one, which is kind of fun. I put washi tape up in the background of it and then put some more washi tape on the front. So the decorations are a little bit different. Then I got bold and I thought about, oh gosh, do I remember? So I have a video out where I show you how to take paper napkins like everybody does and collage them. But I didn't collage this. What I did was I ironed this onto freezer paper. So the link for that video is in the description. I ironed this on freezer paper and it became 13 by 13. That's how big the envelope was. Now, I'm going to show you how to make this, and then I'm going to show you how this is a different one, because until you see how to make this, you won't understand how I folded that differently. Okay, so if you just have a piece of 8.5 by 11, I'm going to use plain paper so that hopefully you can see where I fold and everything. You're going to do it horizontally. We are going to make a fold in half, the width-wise, right? So it's going to be really long. So you're going to fold that in half. This is so simple. It's not hard at all. Then we're going to fold it again. Okay, we're going to do that. Okay, then you open it back up, and now you're going to take each edge and we're going to fold it in. Now, you do want to leave some space from the fold, because if you don't, once you add some things on here, it kind of makes it difficult to fold back into it. Okay, so you fold this into it right there. So hopefully you've gotten a piece of paper out and you've just done those folds. So that part, yeah, you could figure that out, right? That's like so simple. Okay, so here's the next part. We're going to take these front pieces and we are going to bring them all the way down at that angle like that on each one, right? Okay, now as I have it open here, I'm just going to make sure that I'm as close to being across the line as, well, of course I didn't do it, did I? You see I have a long sleeve shirt on today because do you know what? This is Saturday and our temperature went down in the 40s. I'm in Central Florida. We never go down that low. And today it's only like 60 degrees. So of course my house is way cold. Anyway, okay, so you see how we did that. Now, this piece right here, you can do one of two things. You can leave it exactly the way it is, but the way Kara did it and the way I ended up doing it, I really like. What I do next is I take my ruler and a pencil, and I'm just going to cut. We're going to trim this off. And I've learned the hard way on the first couple that I just trimmed it by hand. No, lay your ruler down. You'll see why in a second. Okay, so now we have a line, and we're going to cut that part off. Now, it doesn't look like much because we're on plain, boring paper, but it ends up, if you have a print paper, it's going to look really, really good. So actually, I'm going to open this back up a little bit because we already know exactly where we're cutting. So now I'm going to cut this off to the fold line. So you're basically taking a little sliver off. And how much you take off is totally up to you. You could take more than that if you want to. I think it more depends on the design on your paper. How much, is there a good design? If there's not a good design there, don't bother cutting this. Okay, let's go and fold it back up. Okay, so we were over there, right? And now do you see what we did? Let me ink it, so I think you'll be able to see it a little bit better to see the difference. Okay, so we trimmed those. And again, what you're going to see is when I trim it, I have really pretty background paper. So that's cool. I wanted to show that. And then once you trim it, what you can do is you then can corner round that piece right there. And so it gives it a slightly different edge, okay? So that's basically it. Now, I'm going to show you how to add the magnets. I'm not going to do it on here. I'm going to do it on another piece that we're going to start. But you see basically how much, how simple this is and how fun it can be depending upon, where do you want to put a pocket. And then the other thing is, look, you have a pocket here. You've got a pocket here. So there's two on the front, right? You open it up. Now, if you wanted to, I haven't made one this way yet, but couldn't I do a thumb tuck right there, right? And then you could then put the glue down the middle, which would work. And then you would have two more pockets, okay? So you'd have to glue that down. And then, as I said, you can add across here, you can add across here, you can do all four spots. But look at all the tuck spots that you're ending up creating, okay? So that's the basis of how to make this little mini folio. Now, let's do another one. I'm going to show you on this. Here is another example of a paper napkin that I have ironed onto the freezer paper. And what the size of this, I think it's 10 by 10. It's a 10 by 10. So I'm showing you that was 8.5 by 11, but look, you can actually use a square. It doesn't really matter, right? Now, obviously, if I fold this up, all my design's inside, so I don't want to do that. So we're going to fold it with that on the outside, right? Okay, we're going to fold it in half. And you see how it's just folding it into itself, so that doesn't really matter what size paper you are using, because it's all going to work. Again, leave a little space from where you fold to there. And we're going to come over here. Okay, there we go. And see, here's our little book. So now look at the difference. This one just is taller because it's a larger size piece of paper, but it still works, doesn't it? It totally works. Okay, and then what do we do? Now we're going to fold this down. Now I did not, this other one that I'm going to show you, I actually coffee dyed the back of the paper. After I ironed the napkin onto the freezer paper, I then coffee dyed it. I could have done that with this, but I just didn't do it. So I'm okay with this design because I think we can play with the design. Okay, so the next step would be to trim into there because, yes, I do want to see that. But I want to just stop for 1 second and show you something. Okay, now, when we did this, we folded up and our opening was at the top, right? And that worked for this design. See, this napkin, this was a 13 by 13 napkin. Let me open it all the way up. So, if I folded it, it's going to be totally upside down. Look, if I did it that way, right? Excuse me, if I did it this way, look, everything would be upside down. So I experimented with this one, and I said to myself, well, what's the big deal about where the fold is? Does it really matter? And guess what? It actually doesn't matter. You have to do one different slit, but you can do it that way. So if because your paper has a design that you want to save, you can flip it the other way, okay? So you're going to have one end open and one end's going to be closed in a pocket. So then when I folded it in this way, right, I went to do this and do this. And what happened is I actually had to, because remember, this was the fold. So I actually had to slice into the fold on both sides. That's the only difference, okay? So we're going to go like that. We're going to go like that. We're going to go like that. Now, I can trim this back. You're going to see a little bit of the design, and that'll be cool. So why don't we do that next? And then I'm going to add the magnets to this because I want to show you how to do the magnets. Now, I'm going to put the link in the description for the little mini type mini flat magnets. Kara gave this link and I ended up ordering them, and they are wonderful because they're super thin and they're very tiny. And that's all you really need when you're dealing with paper stuff, right? I mean, you don't need a giant, this is not a big heavy thing that we're making. Let's go, you know what, let's have fun with this. Let's go down a little bit further. Let's cut that off because I haven't, well, it's about the same, but anyway, we'll trim that and we'll see how that works. Okay, I open it up just a little bit. Now remember, I told you, I've already opened up. This was folded, so I had to first go in there like that and open it. And now I'm trimming this under this other part. Okay. So we're going to cut to our fold line. There we go. And we'll do that on the other side. I hope you like this. I think this is just so cute. And I love that I was able to experiment and then show you that you can use different sizes of paper. The only difference for the paper, as far as my eye is that you want some kind of a horizontal design, because that's just what really works with this. Okay, we're gonna fold that back. Now see, the copy die makes that look really pretty. Now it's kind of plain, but I could get some washi tape out and play with that, right? Okay, let's just ink this up a little bit, and then I'm gonna show you how to put the magnets. So if you don't have magnets before you start making this, you could make a whole bunch and then order the magnets. As I said, I got them off of Amazon. They're inexpensive, but I have not worked with magnets for a long time. And it came in this cute little plastic container, and I thought, oh, that'd be cute. I'll keep them in there. Okay, magnets are so strong. Every time I picked it up, it made a different size, and I couldn't put it back in there. So it's kind of funny how that went. But anyway, okay, so that would be our design. Now, here's what I want to show you how to do the magnets. We're going to put the magnets underneath these folds, okay? And so you're going to take one of your magnets, doesn't matter really which side you start on, I'm just going to start on this side. And you're going to get your glitter glue out. And we are going to put it just in a little bit. You know, you don't want it out quite, you don't want it all the way in, if you can see where I'm at. So I basically just kind of pick a spot, put a dot of glue on the upper part and the lower part, put the magnet down, and we're just gonna glue that part together. Okay, so I'm gonna have to hold this for a second. So while I'm waiting for the glue to somewhat dry, because if I don't, I'll rip the magnet right out, I end up using my glitter glue, and I go ahead and close this. Okay, I'm gonna just close that up. So now the magnet is enclosed in there. Okay, now we want to put the other magnet to close it right on this side. So get your magnet and see what happened. The two of them are stuck together. Okay, now hopefully this is going to work and we're not going to get it messed up, that it dried enough. Basically, if you put the magnet, just kind of put it near where that one is, it's going to be right on top, right? Now, what you have to do is you have to put this up, put this down, and then hopefully you can see where the magnet should be, right? And I'm going to take it off of that one and put it right there, okay? And then we are going to bring this flap back over and put some glue on that part, and then glue it down. So I have to wait a minute, because if I don't, it'll just pull this back up and the glue didn't even dry. And then it should just go right together, of course. Now it doesn't want to go together because I guess I don't have it in the right spot. So while you still have the glue a little bit wet, you can maneuver it a little bit. Okay, why does this one not want to work? Well, this is good that I'm showing you this on camera, right? Okay, where is it? It's right. Oops, I got to move it to where it should want to go right back into where it is. There we go. No. Oh my gosh, isn't that weird? See, they were so much easier. Of course, because I'm on camera. Of course, that's what always happens. I go to do something on camera and it's not in the right spot. has to come down. Oh my gosh, it just, okay, it's right there. Oh, the minute I let it go for a second, then it went to the right spot. You just have to play with it. There, see, now I got it down. Okay, and so now you have to hold these two until they get really, really dry. Okay. So with this one, what you're going to do differently than I did on the others is because this is all open, if you want to leave it open, you can, but I wouldn't. I would close this. So I'm going to run a bead of glue along that part and just go ahead and seal it, as I said, because because I folded it to the top. We put the fold at the top instead of down here at the bottom. That's all we did because of the directionality of the paper. So I'm going to go ahead and do that all the way over there. And then I'm going to do that on here. And that is how you make this fun folio with a magnetic closure. Okay, so let me close. Yeah, I want to close that one up too. We're going to close this up. So you'll figure out what to close up once you fold it and put it together. You'll know where you want it closed and where you want it opened. And then over here, we're going to close that one up. And the fun part is, if you have a lot of napkins, if you haven't watched that video of mine, I ended up having a lot of napkins I collected over the years. And once I saw how to do that, and that's from Kathy's Garden, I realized, oh my gosh, I can finally use all those napkins. Because of course I bought them all thinking, oh, I'm going to use them, and I never really did. But I find that now that I have attached them to freezer paper, you can actually make a whole little junk journaling thing, right? You can totally make that with a napkin, because you've made it sturdier because it's on the... okay, that's not acting right. Because it's on the freezer paper. So the freezer paper gives it some strength, basically. And we're going to pop that in there. Oh, this does not like this freezer paper. Don't know why, but it doesn't. Okay, so that's basically it. Now, I would open this back up and decide, am I going to put some pockets in here? I could put some washi tape here. So I think that the decoration part is totally up to you. Obviously, if you have the ability and want to make this a faith art piece, go for it. Because some of my tags and things from some of my other kits would totally fit into this. And this is going to end up being the same one, but different sizes. So... hopefully you like this. So like I said, this is from, you need horizontal paper, and you need to print it on both sides if you're going to use digital papers. But as I just showed you, you can use napkins, and you can use pages out of books that are of any size, because you just work with the size of the paper that you end up having. So I hope that you will like this video. And that if you share it, I would so appreciate it, because you're actually sharing the good news of Jesus Christ when you share my videos. And that you are subscribed, and that you've clicked the notification bell also. So that way when I put up a new video, you will be the first to be notified. So enjoy using your book pages that you find, your digital kits. And if you have 12 by 12 or other kind of scrap paper, you can totally use that also.